Hello, Cardiff and Welsh. Thank you very much for your warm welcome. The following may shock some. I love Europe. I love Europe. I love the beautiful people. I love the impressive architecture. I love the stunning landscapes. I enjoy visiting Spain, Germany and Italy as a tourist. And I welcome those same people to come and visit our country in return. However, the identities of many European people are being eroded away by the European Union's open border policy. It is witnessing mass immigration and replacing many of our cultures, such as the English and the Welsh. As much as we love and want to help our fellow man, history has taught us that cultural differences inevitably cause conflict. Tony Blair's idea of multiculturalism is a failed project. Cultures simply do not integrate. This cannot be forced upon a sovereign nation. I myself am from Wiltshire. My town has been destroyed from immigration. It's a far cry from what it was. Our hospitals are full. Our NHS is overcrowded. We simply cannot go on. Because of the EU, we are suffering. We are seeing our wages stagnating due to the influx of economic migrants, although so large corporations can abuse cheap labour. We have people dying on trolleys due to lack of funding, whilst you guys are sending £35 million a day to the EU gravy train in funding. People like you need to understand the difference between the EU and Europe. Europe should be a continent of sovereign nations, whereas the EU is a corrupt and undemocratic organisation, forcing political unionists that we never voted for. We do not want to live in the United States of Europe. Nigel Farage was wrong to offer a second referendum. We voted out, and that means out. Let us be clear, the establishment did not wish Brexit to happen. We must ensure there's no transitional period, no divorce bill, and no giving up our fishing waters. We can still see the enemy still fighting like a wounded animal. Those who wish to seek to overturn the democratic voice of the nation are fascists, and they are traitors. People like Nick Clegg, Tony Blair, Annie Sowerby, Lord Adonis, the unelected House of the Lords. You all seem to know better than us mere mortals. They must not, and they will not win. Another one of the enemies is the BBC, who are playing a huge part in undermining our democracy due to them receiving funding from the EU. It is clear that he who pays the piper calls the tune. They are desperately seeking to demoralise us, and there are plenty of positives ahead with this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to press the reset button. We are sick of people like Gary Lineker and Lily Allen lecturing us, telling us to do as I say, but not as I do. Another huge pain are the snowflakes or the educated young, those who have been to university and counter-protest against us. The educated young who think they can't travel in Europe unless they are in the EU. The educated young who think we can't trade with the EU unless we are in the EU. The educated young who think they can't get a job overseas if we're not in the EU. In reality, it is the EU. Because of the EU, we are suffering. I asked the educated young in Greece, Spain and Italy how the EU is working for them. Mass unemployment. Basically, the educated young are yet to be educated in the real world, but they will cotton on once we are out. They have been brainwashed and indoctrinated by the left-wing education system. They have been infiltrated by the EU, and this has been spanning for decades. Freedom of speech has been removed from campuses. This behaviour is reminiscent of 1930s Germany. I tell them now to listen and heed this message that I have for them. The EU is a protectionist bloc working for no one but bureaucrats, big companies and out-of-date industries that should have reformed a long time ago. Consumers in the EU should have the opportunity to buy goods in the markets at the world's most competitive prices. All the EU is doing is keeping the developing world out and making its citizens poorer and stopping the young in this country to be able to buy affordable housing and getting a skilled job. The EU are working against you and not with you. We want to see British jobs for British workers and not economic migrants. With Brexit, we will create a fairer and better trade around the world. The educated young call us racist, xenophobic, bigoted, or indeed stupid, but we are not. We voted for you. We voted for your children. We voted for your grandchildren. We voted for your NHS, your schools, your laws, your borders, your economy, and your freedom. We voted for a greater Britain to preserve our culture for future generations. We voted in the nation's interest and to preserve our culture going on forward. We voted with our hearts and with our heads. We voted for your future. As we approach a new era by being set free from the shackles of the EU into a brave new world, we asked all of Britain to unite. We asked all of Britain to stand proud of our flag. We asked Britain to stand up for our country that has given us the freedom that we enjoy today. March forward with us to send out a clear message that Britain is not dead. We will not be bullied. We will not be beaten. We will not cower. We will not be replaced. The spirit of the British line has once again woken, as she has done in times of crisis in our history. She has risen. She is ready to fight, and we shall win.
Thank you very much, Martin. I'd also like to thank the police for keeping back those Kalergi fascists who clearly don't have any tolerance of other political ideas and are rather intimidated by us. Thank you.
Thank you.